Have you ever heard of a tuxedo cat? The term tuxedo cat, named after the classic black and white pattern that resembles a formal suit, is commonly used to describe cats with this distinctive coat. And it's precisely this coloring that gives tuxedo cats a natural air of elegance, as if they're always ready for a fancy event or to stir up a little mischief. But behind that charming appearance, there's much more than meets the eye. In this video, we're going beyond looks. You'll discover surprising facts about these felines, from the genetics behind their coat to real-life stories of tuxedo cats who became cultural icons. If you already have a tuxedo cat at home, you'll definitely relate. And if you don't, you might just finish this video wanting one. Every tuxedo cat is unique, a pattern that never repeats. At first glance, all tuxedo cats seem to have something in common: black and white fur, striking contrast, and a classy vibe. But take a closer look, and you'll notice no two are exactly alike. That's because the pattern of markings on bicolor cats is the result of a random genetic process. During embryonic development, the pigment-producing cells migrate across the kitten's body in unpredictable ways. Where they settle, and where they don't, determines the final design of the coat. The result? Each tuxedo cat has a one-of-a-kind pattern. Some have faces split down the middle, others sport a white bow tie on their chest, and some have markings that look like abstract art. There's no required symmetry, no repetition. It's as if nature signs each cat with its own personal flourish. And this uniqueness goes beyond aesthetics. For many pet parents, recognizing their cat's pattern is like recognizing a familiar face. It becomes part of the cat's visual identity, something that makes them even more special. So, while the term tuxedo cat groups these felines under one label, the truth is that each one is a singular masterpiece. And maybe that's exactly what makes them so fascinating. The genetics behind the charm of the tuxedo cat. Have you ever wondered why tuxedo cats have such a striking coat, with black and white contrasting in almost artistic ways? The answer lies in genetics, and it's more fascinating than you might think. The black color in cats is caused by a pigment called eumelanin. The white areas, interestingly, aren't actually a color. They're the absence of pigment. It's as if the cat's body simply left certain parts blank, quite literally. The tuxedo pattern appears when the gene responsible for pigmentation is partially inhibited during embryonic development. This means that the pigment-producing cells don't reach every part of the body, resulting in those signature white patches on the chest, paws, face, and belly. It's a complex biological process, but the result is pure feline elegance. And while no two tuxedo cats look exactly the same, they all share that bold, stylish look that makes them stand out. The tuxedo cat isn't a breed, it's a style. When we talk about a tuxedo cat, many people assume we're referring to a specific breed. But the truth is, a tuxedo cat isn't a breed, it's a coat pattern. In practice, any cat with a bicolor coat, predominantly black with white markings, can be called a tuxedo cat, regardless of its genetic background. This pattern can appear in many different breeds, and even in mixed breed or stray cats. In other words, what unites tuxedo cats isn't pedigree, it's that bold, unmistakable look. So next time you see a black and white cat, remember, it might not have a fancy lineage, but it definitely has style. Tuxedo cats in history and popular culture. Black and white cats have always stood out, not just because of their elegant appearance, but also because of the symbolism they've carried throughout history. Depending on the time and culture, they've been seen in very different ways. In the Middle Ages, for example, dark-colored cats were often associated with witchcraft and the occult. But interestingly, bicolor cats, like tuxedo cats, managed to escape some of that stigma. Maybe it was because they looked less mysterious, or because their markings resembled human clothing, like a tuxedo. In some cultures, black and white cats were even considered good luck, especially if they crossed your path from left to right. But it was in the 20th century that the tuxedo cat truly became a cultural icon, largely thanks to fiction. The most famous example is Sylvester, the classic cartoon character from Warner Brothers. With his endless and usually failed attempts to catch Tweety Bird, he became a symbol of persistence and lovable clumsiness. Beyond Sylvester, tuxedo cats have appeared in movies, books, and even advertising campaigns, always with that mix of elegance and mischief. It's as if their coat tells a story all on its own. Black and white, classic and modern, sweet and sassy. Today, the tuxedo cat is more than just a coat pattern. It's a recurring character in our collective imagination, a cat that seems to carry personality in every glance. The behavior of tuxedo cats. Personality with a signature flair. Anyone who lives with a tuxedo cat knows they don't go unnoticed. And it's not just because of their striking coat. Many pet parents say these cats have bold, expressive, and often unpredictable personalities. While there's still a lot to learn about how feline behavior might relate to coat genetics, some studies suggest that bicolor cats tend to be more outgoing, vocal, and even a bit stubborn. Of course, it's not a hard rule, but it's a trend that's been observed in both research and real-life stories. Tuxedo cats are known for speaking with their eyes, their body language, and often their meows. They don't hesitate to let you know what they want, whether it's food, attention, or just some space. And they do it with a kind of theatrical confidence. It's almost like their black and white coat comes with a built-in sense of authority. They walk into a room like they know they're being watched, and they love it. These are cats that don't just coexist with humans, they interact with them actively, almost like they're part of the conversation. If you have a tuxedo cat at home, you've probably noticed they're not just a pet. They're a presence, a personality, a character. Tuxedo cats have been considered more intelligent. While there's no definitive scientific consensus yet on whether a cat's coat pattern is linked to intelligence, an informal study conducted by researchers at the University of Edinburgh and the University of Texas offered an interesting insight. Tuxedo cats showed quicker learning responses in simple problem-solving tests. They seemed more willing to explore, experiment, and repeat actions that led to rewards, which, in practical terms, can be seen as a form of adaptive intelligence. Of course, this doesn't mean all tuxedo cats are feline geniuses, but it does support the common belief that they're pretty clever. In addition, many pet parents report that their tuxedo cats easily learn routines, like feeding times, simple commands, and even tricks, as long as there's a good incentive involved, usually food, of course. The tuxedo cat, who almost became mayor. It might sound like a joke, but it's true. A tuxedo cat once ran for political office. In 2012, a tuxedo cat named Tuxedo Stan gained international fame when he was launched as a symbolic candidate for mayor of Halifax, Canada. The campaign, created by a group of local activists, wasn't actually meant to get the cat elected. After all, he couldn't be officially registered. But the message was clear: raise awareness about the city's stray cat population and pressure the government to invest in spay/neuter programs and animal welfare. And it worked. Tuxedo Stan's campaign went viral, gained support from celebrities, and ended up influencing local public policy, all with a tuxedo cat as the face of the cause. Tuxedo Stan never held political office, but he left a real legacy. And he proved that with charisma and a good cause, even a cat can make noise in politics. We've reached the end of our journey through the world of tuxedo cats, those felines who, even without belonging to a specific breed, carry an identity as striking as any pedigree. Throughout this video, we've seen that being a tuxedo cat is about much more than having a black and white coat. It's about carrying a unique combination of genetics, expression, history, and presence. It's about being all at once classic and bold, elegant and unpredictable. Every tuxedo cat is a one-of-a-kind creation of nature. No two patterns are the same, and no two personalities are identical. And maybe that's exactly what makes them so special. Their ability to surprise, to stand out, to form deep bonds with those who take the time to truly see them. If you already have a tuxedo cat, you know exactly what we're talking about. And if you don't, maybe now you understand why so many people fall in love with these cats who seem to carry an extra dose of charm and personality. Thanks for watching all the way through. If this video gave you a new perspective on tuxedo cats, leave a like, share it with other cat lovers, and tell us in the comments, what's the most memorable story you've lived with your tuxedo cat? Because in the end, every cat has a story. And every tuxedo cat, without a doubt, has their own.